Thanks.
And then go ahead, Lolly. You'll have to press the unmute the way there you go.
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, I thought you were in Israel. Did you go? Did you?
I am. I am.
Oh, you
It's
are in.
what is it now? It's 3:15 a.m. Oh my God, so many things. So let's start with something we talked about last week, which has been coming up again. We talked about like the feeling of time and like stretching time and bending time. It's been crazy. Like I keep experiencing it, which is really cool. And another thing I noticed, because the last couple of weeks been kind of weird, things happened and like it didn't feel like it was going smoothly and everything just felt like I was kind of procrastinating maybe with getting things done for the trip.
Mhm.
But then eventually I organized apparently so well the prep that when I packed, I was done way ahead of like when I usually am done. Better than
Oh,
I've
good.
ever packed. And I surprised myself, but it's all these things that didn't really, it doesn't even, it happens and it's amazing and it doesn't even make sense to me. So I
Right.
guess,
Yeah.
so like, I don't know if really something is because of all the work that, that I've been doing with you, something all of a sudden just kind of sinks in a way that I can't even understand or.
I mean, all of those things are like even like you're packing, you're kind of in motion. It's tied to like the intuitive mental processes.
Mm-hmm,
Like your intuitive mind perceives things very differently than your intellectual mind. And so the intellect kind of gets time the way we think about time. But
mm-hmm.
intuition, it's just kind of a suggestion.
Yeah. And
You know what I
it's,
mean?
yeah, and it was amazing, even like
Yeah.
getting ready to get picked up to the airport and even like going to my sister, I was like right on the dot and I'm like, this is like really interesting.
Like if you think about it, like if the intellect is always about repetition and maintenance and has like protective qualities and protecting, not really protecting us, but like protecting the repetition and protecting the maintenance. You know what I mean? And so everything's based on the past. So a lot of times, how we see how things are going to be done or need to be done or how they're going to play out, it's based on past experiences. So we have a preconceived like idea, like
Mm-hmm,
I have this preconception of that this is how it's going to play out and these are the steps and this is the time it's going to take or that it's going to be difficult or
mm-hmm,
whatever it is, when intuition is more like just playing and it's like, well, let's just start playing with it, let's get it done. And
mm-hmm,
where like here, uh, we have a pretty packed day every day, like I have my little sections of the day where like, okay, I'm bottling, okay, I'm writing, okay, I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And there's days where if I've really gone deep on like vagal tone or something like that, in that same amount of time, I'll get almost like twice as much stuff done.
mm-hmm,
And like if you look at it, like the schedule was already packed. Like it was already like, how I would get things out. Like I'm already pretty fast about all these things. And then that intuitive component comes in and, you know, twice the output happens.
mm-hmm,
And it's the whole idea of like those inner practices, how like Tai Chi and flower arranging and tea ceremony
mm-hmm.
and all of that. Some of the things that they talk about is like you do it, but you do it with no mind. right? And it doesn't mean you shut down or repress your emotions. It just means you get out of intellect and you do it from that intuitive part of your mind. And in doing so, it's much more creative and there's a greater level of flow and things happen in ways that are not based on past experiences, you know.
hmm And it's amazing, and especially with something like that that happened, like I had to deal with a few times in the last few months. I'm like, oh, this is different. So thank you for the breakdown.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that's
And
happening.
yeah, me too. We need to keep on that flow. The other thing that happened the other day was that, certain people have things that are like their worst fears. Mine is like going out, my car is not there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened. I had an appointment, I walk out, the car is not there. Like no car, nothing. And I know where I parked. So
This happened
basically
last week?
on Friday, right when I'm prepping, when I'm doing everything. So apparently car was towed, nobody told me, I had to deal with that. Um,
Oh, wow.
but
So it
here's the
wasn't
crazy.
stolen, it just got towed.
No, it got towed. Nobody told me.
Oh,
Here's the crazy side, right? I wasn't handling it as I was hoping I would, nicely, and let's get Tarragon right now. I took Tarragon later. But here's the interesting thing. It was supposed to cost a great deal of money. I paid nothing.
wow.
So it happened. It's something I was like really one of my worst fears, but something kind of flipped so fast that it worked itself out. And I'm like, is this like some kind of a karma thing? Is that like a reminder for me that everything works out? Because again, it's one of those things that you can't, like, intellectually, there's no explanation for that.
Hmm. I mean,
So,
there's times when something like that could be kind of karmic, but I think that was probably, I mean, it's hard to say, you
yeah.
know, but I would say, part of intuition is the soul starts being a bit more of a driving force of our actions, our thoughts, our feelings. And, at some point, what starts to happen is the soul starts tempering things so that it can, like, establish, like, it cleans house a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, oh, it just expels energy out, but it's like if you have that thought and it's like debilitating, like the greater the soul level is, like have this experience and see, okay, now get rid of it. Like, because
Oh,
like,
wow.
as much as you go, okay, let's release it, let's do healing on it,
Oh,
let's do
God.
this, let's do that. I mean, part of that whole thing with like practicing body awareness and all that is you're just allowing for greater levels of intuition. And at some point it starts to have like a tipping point where the soul comes in and goes, let's eradicate this, let's eradicate that. Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm so happy I mentioned it, because I was like, 'cause that was the thing I didn't even think about that. So thank you. And that makes so much sense. And I
Because
needed
if you think
to,
about like it's in a lot of spiritual teachings, and I remember even the guru saying things like this, but he says, like a developed soul puts themselves in the right place at the right time.
Mhm.
And you just think like, oh, that sounds amazing. But really, what does that mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
when we really sit back and reflect, it's like, well, those are really nice words, and I would like some of that. And
Mhm.
but then as you see things play out, the right place at the right time is, you're sensing things way beyond the senses. And so, you know, even situations where you might see it as like a bad experience, it's still like the soul sometimes trying to get the body, like it's like trying to train the body, like, look, this isn't how you perceive it,
Mm-hmm.
or you need to take a step out and you're not being motivated enough. So, you're push there. And so a lot of times in difficulties, we can learn lessons and grow and evolve, not the way the intellect sees it, but from the point of view of intuition and eventually the soul. We work through things. And so, like, even that idea of karma, that's the thing that, we say, like, when the karmic issue comes up, it's not about what you're thinking about or what's happening, it's about how you think about it. It's about
Mm-hmm.
the processes of, like, how you see it, how you process it, how you react, and the more that the soul is involved, the more that the lesson is learned, or the person grows or evolves their way through it. And so I would say that's that experience. And they're not always like these big, like, oh, I have this massive aha, what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? It's just like here, it's like, yeah, it's probably a thing that's always in your mind, it's always in the back of your mind. And so the intuitive mind goes, okay, we need to resolve this. And
Yeah.
so, you know, who knows where
Mm-hmm.
you parked it or whatever. And it's like, okay, this is going to play out. It's not like
Yeah.
it created the tow truck and all that, but it's like all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden you park it in a place where it's probably going to happen. And then
And
it happens, and then you have a different experience. And then you're like, well, that wasn't that bad. Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, I don't know what to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there were so many weird things about it. So
Yeah,
thank you for
sure.
the break. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what I needed. So thank you. And then just a